Thank you very much for the introduction. As you were very kindly introducing me, I was thinking in my head, it's quite humbling to see that we have been able to perform in so many categories and be recognized by Dubai SME in also the 5 categories that they look at in terms of human capital. We've ranked in the top 10 in terms of innovation, finance, international orientation, and human capital, right, is the last category. And actually, I'm trying to think, what have we done anything different to anybody else? And I think what makes us different is that we try to simplify any challenge that comes to us on a daily basis in terms of reverse engineering any possible solution in terms of what we do. Very quickly, I'm going to give you a quick history about Just Falafel, how it started, and primarily we'll focus on the challenges. And there's many more challenges than anything else that we've been addressed with in the last couple of years that brought us to this position. Just Falafel started in 2007 with a very, very simple idea that it was started by my partner, Mr. Mohammed Bitar, who thought that, why hasn't anyone given the time of the day for a food category that has existed longer than any other food category? Why does Starbucks operate 18,000 stores and under a single brand with a fierce competition around them today, and nobody's taken the time of the day to innovate in a food category that is older than any other food category that we consume? So from the outset, he decided to offer falafel in 3 different palettes, the traditional. And the reason he wanted to offer it in 2 different palettes, because he thought that the sesame oil that is offered in the traditional Lebanese is actually an acquired taste, and it might not be as comfortable for people who came from Asia or the Western community. So from the outset, he thought he would offer the sandwich in 3 different palettes: the Indian, the Greek for the Western community, and the traditional to capture the market. So from the outset, he had that element of innovation. Surely enough, 18 months later, I think, he had enough cash flow to roll out the 2nd store, again in Abu Dhabi. And then in 2010, we got together and we decided that, why is it that we can't, operate thousands of stores if, McDonald's operate 33,000, and Subway operates 40,000+ stores. And I think by then, I'd never tried Subway, by the way. Up until 2010, I'd never, ever even stepped foot into a Subway myself. We continued re-engineering the menu to make it a wide menu with enough propositions so that we can make this food category stand on its own as a food category, and so that the menu is engineered and diverse enough and at par with our competition across the food courts. So we continued by introducing the burger, the quesadillas, the Japanese falafel, so on and so forth. And then came the biggest challenge. Our biggest challenge at the outset was, how do we go and elevate this food category and communicate to the retail operators that, it's not, it's all right to actually retail falafel across the food courts, because the perception of falafel before Just Falafel came along was that it was a complete street food, and it was not at par with other food categories. So that was our first biggest challenge. And the way we overcame this is by our ability to get on board fast enough a dozen franchisees across the Emirates who themselves got on the phone to all the mall operators and started beating them up, asking for locations. And I remember the first time, actually, we called Mall of the Emirates to ask for a location. They literally put the phone down on us. They thought it was a crank call, because who was gutsy enough to request a location for a falafel shop across the food courts. But when they started hearing about it from different people coming forward and asking for the location, they started considering looking at the concept and understanding what it was all about. We went from being a complete reject concept to be accepted in the food courts into imposing ourselves as a core food category, where today food operators will basically, retail operators will have to have this food category across the food courts. Otherwise, they would have a gap in their food offering. It's like, if you cannot today imagine a mall that is not offering frozen yogurt across their propositions, or burgers or pizza, and this is what we've been able to do. Once we were able to do that, the other challenge for us was, this is a new food category. So if we were to take it across any other market, there was a huge element of education that we might want to do in terms of explaining to people, why is this food a great food? Why is it one of the eldest foods? The fact that it's a protein substitute, that it's fully vegetarian. So we wanted to talk to as many people as possible on a continuous basis, and this is when we started thinking, reverting to digital media. I think our timing was perfect in terms of digital, because I think as digital media users ourselves, we have overcome and adapted to communicating data, personal data, private data about ourselves to amongst our friends and communities over the last couple of years in a way that we had a huge resistance against, such as, okay, I set up a Facebook account. Is it okay to put my kids' pictures on Facebook or not? I mean, today, we went from that to making sure that we post a picture anywhere we go, anywhere during the day. So there was a huge adaptation and acceptance in terms of us as consumers to share as much as possible. And this really gave us a huge advantage at Just Falafel to communicate our brand across the globe in a very, very fast way, because we were one of the first adopters of digital media as a corporation in terms of exposing what we thought was an opportunity and to share it with as many people as possible. Today we have around 1.6 million followers on Facebook. Just Falafel is the only company across the Gulf region that Facebook released a case study on about 18 months ago, I think, and another one more recently, because of our ability to use this platform as a communication highway to anywhere in the world that we choose, in terms of sharing, in terms of educating a particular market about a food category, in terms of our ability to self-franchising into certain markets where we would like to expand into. And we use it as far as a field supervision tool in terms of our operations to, if somebody has a bad experience, they'll instantly go out there on our platform and complain, and then we'll pick it up and go and deal with it with the store where they had the bad experience. So this has been quite for us. Digital revolution has changed the value of time. It has allowed us to compress our time to market and our reach further than any other tools that are available to us in today's ecosystem. And we feel that this remains the beginning in terms of reach, and we will see more and more people innovating in products, trying to reach their target audience through such platforms.
Fadi, I think in many ways, Fadi, that you're actually being far too modest about this, because one of the reasons for your company's profound success is the fact that you have an extremely challenging franchise model, right? In that anyone that wants to work with yourselves has to meet tough best practice requirements in terms of the way they recruit staff, the training that staff receive. There is an extremely flat staffing and management model, and everyone's opinion is valued. Can you maybe, by way of asking the first question, can you possibly tell us about those things? Because I think they're terrifically important reasons for your success.
Yes, well, I mean, talking first about Just Falafel as a team,
yeah.
If you want, from that side. We went from being only a couple of guys, multitasking. I used to be doing the franchise sales, the accounting. Muhammad used to manage the store, as much as both run to all the conferences at the Dubai economic department, because we were part of the top 100 SMEs. And today we've grown to about 35 odd people, very departmental. And just to share with you how much we appreciate and we value the team that we have, the 35 odd team at head office. I think probably today 25 of them are partner shareholders with us, yeah, in the company, where we have given them a free share participation, because we know that we cannot grow this company if we lost any one of the talent that we've been able to attract. Also, it was a huge challenge for us at the outset to be able to attract somebody who used to manage 1,500 Burger Kings, yeah, in New York. We've just recruited Jim Joy, 33 years with Burger King, I think managing probably 1,500 odd stores. We also have recruited a chief operating officer who spent 28 years with McDonald's, who has also written a book about franchising. And at the outset, when we had a couple of scruffy stores, it was an impossible task for us to go and approach such great talent, which was very difficult for us, because we had to build a lot of the processes ourselves, and we had to prove ourselves to the talent that we wanted to attract. So it's like the chicken or the egg, yeah, in terms of your ability to attract talent. So in the recent 12 months, we've been able to attract very, very good talent, because of our ability to prove that this is a concept that stands on its own. From the same goes in terms of the franchisees, yeah, because at the outset, we were extremely flexible in terms of accepting anyone who was willing to buy into our concept as a franchisee. And today we have really increased the bar in terms of our approval process. In terms of franchising, we went from some 5 guys getting together as friends to buy a single franchise, and now we impose on a single person to develop no less than 3 stores.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, a lot of things change along the way, but it's very, very important that you realize, as you grow your brand, you have to change your requirements along the way, because if you're, as you build the brand and you build credibility, this is the only time when you can start imposing in the commercial market your, what you expect from them, but you cannot expect that from the beginning. So there's a lot of mistakes that you need to have to, yeah, accept at the outset.